This is in the matter of People versus Contrina Maddox. That's you?
Yes.
File number here is 20971S. It's a 2020 case. It was Judge Patterson's. Defendant was charged with operating while intoxicated in May of 2020. Pled guilty to that charge and was placed on probation to Judge Patterson. Autumn Kiefer was assigned as the defendant's probation agent. She's here this morning. Also present is Mr. Keith Stickley, the Chief Public Defender. There is currently a bench warrant for the defendant's arrest issued by Judge Patterson, and it's been outstanding for some time, since 2020. The defendant called in 2022 and inquired as to the status of this bench warrant, and she was told she needed to come turn herself in. Then she called in December of 2024, was given the same information. So today, half an hour ago, she presented herself at the court. And because Judge Patterson is occupied, I am here. So, Ms. Maddox, there's a bench warrant for your arrest with a bond in the amount of $500. You failed to appear for a probation violation arraignment. The arraignment petition, way back filed on December 3rd of 2020, set a hearing for December 14th of 2020. It alleged that you failed to abstain from the use of alcohol or intoxicants and or submit to testing. And then eventually, you just stopped reporting. You didn't show up for the probation violation hearing on that day, and Judge Patterson issued a warrant.
All right, folks, buckle up. This is not your average courtroom day. We're diving into the gritty case of Trina Maddox, caught operating a vehicle while intoxicated back in 2020. She vanished after pleading guilty and was slapped with a probation. Her agent, judge, and the public defender are now all back in the same room because she's finally showed up after years in the wind.
Autumn Kiefer's recommendation at that time was that your probation be revoked as unsuccessful, and they imposed the reserved 3 days of jail that Judge Patterson had reserved for failing to comply with the probation. So let's go back to what we were supposed to do in December of 2020. It is an allegation that you violated your probation by failing to test as directed and or using alcohol as directed, and then by failing to appear or report for several years. Do you understand the allegation? All right. As I indicated, Ms. Kiefer's recommendation would be that your probation be revoked, which they'd get off your back and you serve the 3 reserved days. I don't know what Judge Patterson would do with this. But I spoke with Autumn on the phone after you came in, and is that still your recommendation, Ms.
It is,
Kiefer?
Your Honor.
Now, the gentleman with you is Mr. Keith Stickley. He's our Chief Public Defender. He also dropped whatever else he was doing to come here and be present for this. And Mr. Stickley, what's your defendant's position here?
So my understanding at this time is that she would like to make admissions to the failure to appear. I think she'd like to have a discussion regarding before any sentence is imposed.
Let's call it what it is, chaos. A warrant was issued in 2020 when Trina skipped out on court. She was told twice to turn herself in, once in 2022 and again in 2024. But she kept disappearing. Today, she finally walks in, bond set at $500, and probation violations are piling up fast. Alcohol, missed tests, 0 reporting. This isn't just a slip.
But the fact that there's an FTA and that she presented herself today, I think speaks for the fact of that there obviously is a failure to appear. And so,
All right. Well, let's talk about that. You have a right to have a hearing on a probation violation. At that hearing, it would have to be shown by at least a preponderance of the evidence that you violated the term of probation. You would have a right to have an attorney with you. I could appoint one. It won't be Mr. Stickley. He's just here to make sure we're procedurally correct, but Your original attorney, I don't think you had one, but I could appoint one. You could also simply admit or acknowledge the violation, and then we would proceed to the sentencing. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Do you acknowledge that at that time, in the fall and early winter of 2020, you either didn't tested positive, or failed to appear? In fact, you haven't appeared in several years. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So moved. And it admits PV. Why? What would you like me to know?
I didn't have any transportation, and I stay in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I just paid someone to give me a ride, $50 to get down here.
$50?
Yeah, that's all I had.
All right.
Besides what the bond money that I got. So altogether, I have $550. So I got the $50 for him and the $500 for my bond.
All right. I had them run your driving record and criminal history. Nothing shows up in the last 4 years. So apparently you didn't get picked up for anything. You did know this was outstanding and called a couple of times.
This isn't a sympathy story, this is raw accountability. Trina admits it. She didn't report. She didn't test. She vanished from the system. Why? No ride, she says. But the court doesn't deal in excuses. Her record is clean, but not forgotten. She's got $550, just enough to show up and post bond. But will that be enough?
Yeah, because every time I would get a ride on them days, they told me that they had something to do or they wouldn't be able to take me.
All right.
And my parents are older, so they don't even have a car, so, and I don't have one either.
Do you still live on Leona Avenue?
Correct. The only thing probably changed is my phone number is 269-364-1605.
If I may add, Your Honor.
Yes.
Discussing the matter with her, the possibility of sentencing, she understands that the potential of jail is there going along with this plea, but she does ask that fines and costs be imposed, and assuming that the court would discharge her from probation, do that. She hasn't, as the court has already said, and I was just going to reiterate, she has not had any negative contact with the criminal justice system since this happened. She is in a difficult situation to get down here to Centerville. She doesn't come to our county anymore. She doesn't have a vehicle. She's not driving. And she experiences some financial hardship, Your Honor. So she's presenting herself here today and asking the court for a discharge.
The facts of this case are scary. You were driving southbound in the northbound lanes of US 131 with a blood alcohol level of 0.203. So I certainly understand why Judge Pattison put you on probation. Ms. Kiefer's recommendation is that I revoke your probation, excuse all outstanding fine and costs, and give you the 3 days that Judge Pattison was going to give you in the first place. We can do that and get this over with right now. If you wish to have this matter done by Judge Pattison, I'm going to cancel your bond and let Judge Pattison see you either later today or tomorrow. What's your preference?
Here's the gut punch. She was caught driving south in the northbound lane of a highway with a blood alcohol level of 0.203, nearly triple the legal limit. That's not just reckless. That's deadly. Her probation officer says it's time, revoke it. Wipe the slate, fine waived, and give her the 3 days Judge Pattison originally reserved. Boom. Clean break, clean slate. Or is it?
I just want to get it over with, but I don't want to go to jail.
Well, that's common. I don't know if he might give you more than this. Do you have any objection to me doing this as opposed to Judge Pattison?
I don't know who is who, so I just want to get it. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Your Honor, I think she can, she's indicated to me that she's comfortable with you sentencing her and ending the matter today.
All right. 3 days, credit 0, leaving 3 days to serve. All fines and costs are waived, whatever's left and is waivable. And I will, probation is revoked. All right, come up to the podium if you would. I can't hear you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Jennifer Coker.
For what?
Coker, C-O-K-E-R.
Okay.
And this is my aunt. and her daughter, which is my cousin, is incarcerated, and she takes care of my little cousin, which is her granddaughter, and it's been hard, you know, and so my car got crashed into is why I couldn't bring her here. But she
Well,
does.
thanks for bringing her, but she's gonna go to jail for 3 days unless she wants to run the
But
risk of
she
having Judge
takes care-
Patterson give her about 90 more.
She takes care of her granddaughter, and she don't like. That's all she got. Like, and I just wanted to say,
Where's your granddaughter now?
at school.
She's going now with my daughter's girlfriend. She moved out of state.
Oh, your granddaughter's gone out of state?
Yeah.
Just because we had to come to court today.
All right, well, she'll be okay for the next 3 days if she's out of state. But you're gonna go to jail for 3 days. I'm revoking your probation. I'm off your back. Judge Patterson's off your back, and you don't owe any more money. Thank you. You're all good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Like, it's not nothing else y'all can.
Yes?
Like, I was just saying, like, I'm like, cause she came here.
I understand, but she
Because in
owes 3 days and
Kalamazoo,
just
they
a
wouldn't
bad
do that.
set of facts. So, I can let the other judge do it. She might get more than this.
That's
So,
true.
all right, we'll just call it good.
Kalamazoo wouldn't be here. I'm sorry, Tree. That's
Well, she's not in Kalamazoo.
I
I'll
see.
give her the number to get into my.
All right,
call my mom.
thank you.
Yeah, what do you want?
It's,
Yeah.
she's out of state.
But here's the heartbreak behind the headlines. A family member steps up, trying to explain how hard things have been. Trina's granddaughter is now out of state, and her life's been wrecked trying to stay afloat. But the judge holds firm, 3 days jail. No more second chances. No more hearings. Probation revoked. Case closed. Trina walks out cuffed, but with one thing most don't get, closure.